Since the number of marriages ending in divorce has risen to as high as 50%, it is likely that divorce has happened to you, to someone in your family, or to someone you know. Although divorce is common, it is still one of the most devastating experiences one can endure. The trauma is intensified when children are involved. And especially vulnerable are fathers, who are victims of a judicial system that has failed to change with society.
This is the Nightline Friday night special.
I can't be here.
This is hell for anyone, for both sides, I'm sure. It's the working woman's nightmare when winning at work can mean losing your children.
I know that when you're putting in 16 hours a day on a case, you are not accessible to your children, even when you're awake.
She's a woman and she's a prosecutor. She's worked hard to get where she is. She's like to have it all, and why shouldn't she? A man can have it all.
It's making women angry and men defensive. The custody controversy, tonight.
This is ABC News Nightline. Reporting from Washington, Ted Koppel.
Marcia Clark is smack dab in the middle of a national debate, and it has nothing whatsoever to do with the O.J. Simpson trial. Well, that may be a slight exaggeration. Since Ms. Clark has become internationally known as the lead prosecutor in the case against Mr. Simpson, there is no question that everything she does and everything that is done to her is magnified by the extraordinary level of public interest in the trial. But the controversy at issue, capable of starting a crackling good fight between most men and most women in this country, has nothing to do with the Simpson trial. It has to do with working mothers and child custody. More specifically, what happens in a child custody case when it's the mother who puts in the longer hours outside the home, when she, rather than he, is the workaholic professional. The story has been bubbling up on the West Coast for most of the past week. But as you can see from today's copy of New York Newsday, it has now also arrived on the East Coast with a vengeance. Here's more on the story from Judy Muller.
Marcia Clark's private problems first spilled into the public arena a week ago when Judge Ito asked the lawyers to stay for a late Friday night session. Clark said she had to go home because she had no one to take care of her sons, aged 3 and 5.
Your Honor, I can't be here. And the court had informed me.
No, Ms. Clark, I'm sorry. I apologize to you. I had forgotten that problem. And that's my fault for having forgotten about that.
But not everyone was as understanding as Judge Ito. When the court reconvened on Monday, defense attorney Johnny Cochran called it a delaying tactic.
We're ready to proceed, and the witness make the promise she'll come back. And they say, well, we can't do it tonight, Judge, because I have to pick up my children. And the court is sensitive to that. And this is only with a ploy for them to go and try to cry and moan over the weekend.
I'm offended as a woman, as a single parent, and as a prosecutor and an officer of the court to hear an argument posed by counsel like that to Mr. Cochran today. Some of us have child care issues, and they are serious, and they are paramount. Obviously, Mr. Cochran cannot understand that, but he should not stand before this court and impugn the integrity of someone who does have those considerations.